Welcome to our final day of Homeopathy Awareness Week, where today I was collecting testimonials on location at the Harvard Homeopathic Clinic in Brookvale near Sydney, which is also the home to the Aurum Project and Book Barn, which is the only homeopathic bookshop in Australia. You can find them at hhcc.com.au or aurumproject.org.au. So the lovely Lindley Jordan, Penny Barron and the team invited me to come and hang out with them in celebration of Homeopathy Awareness Week and to share the most delicious, lovingly handmade lunch and cake. We even sang happy birthday to Samuel Hahnemann before we dug into the cake. It was delicious. Of course, it was impossible for me to walk away without purchasing a few more books, and it was just the loveliest way to end our 3 months of traveling in a caravan around Australia as we start driving the almost 4,000 kilometers back to Perth tomorrow. Unfortunately, our intended 6 months of travel got cut a bit short as our house sitter had to finish up a bit early due to unforeseen circumstances. So I am a bit sad, but I am really excited to see my donkeys again and sleep in my own bed. We've created the most incredible memories as a family, and I have a new appreciation for the beauty of Australia. Apart from today's lovely visit, we also parked up at John Gamble and Naima's Hermiston's place for a couple of days and had a lovely bonfire. I got to go on a bush walk with Ian White from Australian Bushflower Essences on my birthday as I was attending a 2-day kinesiology workshop with him the next day. That was definitely one of the highlights of the trip. We also got to hang out with Sarah Valentini and her beautiful family and doggies for several days while we were in Melbourne, and along with Sarah, we got to have a lovely picnic with Leia Golden. While we were in Melbourne, we caught up with some fellow homies for a lovely lunch, as well as when we were in South Australia, where I got to meet 3 of my clients whom I've been treating online for many years. So it was incredibly special to get to meet them in person. You know who you are. There were other homeopaths I was hoping to catch up with along the way, but with our trip being cut short, it just hasn't happened, so we might have to make another trip one day soon. Honestly, something magic happens when we meet up in person and get to share our passion for homeopathy with each other in real life, which is also why I'm counting down the days until our next Unleashing Homeopathy conference in Bali on 23 to 25 August. So just a little plug for that. And also just wanted to plug Sarah Valentini and Mikhail Yakir's trituration in the Daintree at the end of July. So that is another opportunity for you to catch up with fellow homeopaths in person. So there's still tickets left for both of these events. So do get in touch if you're interested. And I'll leave you with this final bit of insight I had yesterday while I went for a lovely walk in Lane Cove National Park, which is next to the caravan park we're currently staying at. As I was walking in nature and fretting about how there is no way I will ever in 10 lifetimes be able to master homeopathy because of its beautiful complexity, the answer came to me that homeopathy is not something to be mastered. It is something to be admired and stand in constant awe of, like nature itself. When a waterfall takes your breath away, or the sheer size of a mountain leaves you speechless, or the song of a bird stops you in your tracks. Or on my bushwalk with Ian White when we spotted 3 perfectly formed teeny tiny angel sword flowers. And while we're staring at it, I just cannot find the words to describe the pure perfection of its design. It just transcends anything you can imagine of how nature could create this perfect little flower, which we can make into an essence to protect our aura. It's just simply incredible. So before we go into the testimonials from today, I just want to say thank you to Dr. Samuel Hahnemann for being so brave in developing homeopathy and working tirelessly to refine this magical natural energy medicine. I will forever be humbled and grateful for being given this medicine to help treat my family as a first-line medicine. Enjoy the episode.
Hello, my name is Penny Barron and I work at the Harbour Homeopathic Clinic. I'm here today with the lovely Eugenie and I want to talk about my dog who had a myobium cyst in his right eye, and I gave him lycopodium because he actually fit with that remedy anyway. And not really knowing what was going to happen. And I kind of thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to take him to the vet and spend thousands of dollars on surgery and all of that kind of thing. But he really fit the symptoms for lycopodium. So I decided to give him a bunch of doses of lycopodium in a medium potency, 200C. And within a few weeks, the myobium cyst was gone, and it's now this tiny, tiny little thing that you can hardly see anymore. He also had a lot of goop, and he was behaving really not so great, and he was also kind of losing his zest for life because he is a little bit of an old man. And now he's starting to sniff at things again. He's getting excited in the mornings again, whereas before he was just grumpy and cranky and barking all the time. So his behaviour has really improved. His mood is so much better. He's actually healthier all round. His coat's looking shinier, and the myobium cyst is gone. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Joanne, and I was first introduced to homeopathy when I began working at the Harbour Homeopathy Clinic as helped the practitioners, admin support. So I was surrounded by homeopathy and listening to all the wonderful stories that the practitioners would share. So obviously it was the best thing to try it out on myself, which I did. And I think the first remedy that I used was Nux vomica, just a 30C. For digestive issues, great for those times when you've had a little bit too much to drink or a little bit overindulgent in food. And I take Nux vomica, and it really makes a huge difference. Just settles everything down, calms it all down. So I've never looked back since, and I use homeopathy for myself, for my family, for my friends. It's fantastic.
Hello all. I'm very pleased to be having a chat today, and just to let you know, I'm a homeopathy student at Nature Care College, studying naturopathy, nutrition, and homeopathy as part of it, which is an amazing study and just something that I think is so worthwhile for all different people, for all different reasons, to really get to the root cause, and a wonderful remedy. As a student clinic client at one point, I came to the clinic because I'd been having many decades of skin cancers on my face, BCCs, and had struggled through various other allopathic means of clearing that, and which was very painful at the time, physically painful. And we managed to find carcinosinum, which is a remedy that suited me as a personality as well, which was great. And I was using it for a period of time last year and went for my regular skin check. Every time I went for skin check, of course, I was covered with hundreds of BCCs on my face, all had to be zapped off or burnt off or whatever. And the last time I went, there was nothing. Clear, totally clear, which I felt was just amazing. And I felt sort of results, and my skin felt better within a period of a couple of weeks. So I was pretty convinced that this was a great solution for myself, for my skin cancer. And very pleased to be able to pass it on, and looking forward to continuing my studies and being able to help other people with the homeopathy, and creating better lives and happier lives and fulfilling lives as a result. And what an amazing thing it is. It truly is. It's just outstanding. All the best to you all. Bye now.
Hi, my name is Shannon, and I am studying homeopathy because I have a heart for helping mothers to feel empowered around their options and choices to help heal their children and their families, and because I believe that it runs in my family shouldn't be something that we just default to, that we can change generational patterns and heal forwards and backwards.
My name is Renee, and I'm very new to homeopathy, but one experience that I have had is through a lecturer that I had at my college when I was studying nutrition. When we did a consultation, she figured out that I had a phobia of snakes, and it came as a very roundabout way of finding it, but it was incredible. It completely blew my mind, and I think since then I've been sold on homeopathy and wanted to learn more about it.
My name is Erica Steele. I work for the Aurum Project, where I do the marketing and fundraising and memberships and things like that. In August 2022, my mother passed away. So I thought I was doing okay until I wasn't, and then I went to see a homeopath, and I was sleeping okay, but there was other things that were an issue, and the homeopath gave me a remedy, and I took it that day, and then for 3 days I wasn't sleeping well. So it really made me realise that's done something. And then I spoke to the homeopath again, and they gave me a different remedy, and it made such a difference, and I was able to sleep well and emotionally and everything else after going through the grieving process. It just made such a difference. It made me realise how incredible homeopathy can be at that time.
My name's Michael. My biggest memory of homeopathy is when I had a motorbike accident about 30 years ago, and my surgeon, who told me that I'd broken my anterior cruciate ligament back then, said, "We can't fix it. You just have to exercise for the next how many years?" And I did that for a long time, and then the problems came back after a few years, 20, 30 years. So I started exercising it harder, got a shin splint in my leg, and it was painful, and my partner was going, "I don't know how to fix this." And anyway, eventually she gave me a remedy called Ruta, thinking maybe that will fix it or help fix it. And I was seeing a doctor as well, and he gave me an MRI scan after I'd had that remedy. And he said to me, when he got the results, "I wish I had your knee." And I went, "What?" And he said, "Your anterior cruciate ligament, there's no problem with it. It's fine." So we both looked at each other with open mouths. We couldn't believe that this remedy had done what it had done. That's my story.
Hi, I'm Paula, and I'm currently finishing my studies in homeopathy with Nature Care College, which I love. I'm also studying naturopathy and nutrition, and I see a lot of great results that I didn't expect when I started in the beginning of the course. For me, for my family, for my clients as well, especially really hard, complicated, sensitive clients. They have great results with homeopathy, and I'm definitely following that path alongside to naturopathy and nutrition. Really love it. It's very intriguing, and it's a great edge to the natural medicine, as nothing else will address people's constitutions, personality, and energy. So yeah, love it.
Hi, my name is Marley, and I take homeopathic remedies. I take little pills and drops. The drops are quite good, and they have a different texture to it, which I quite like. And it tastes like wine, that I also really like. And as the pills, they taste like candy, and they taste really good. I take 2 a day and love having them always and always.
Hi, my name's Lynley Jordan. I'm practicing at the Harbord Homeopathic Clinic, and I've been a practitioner now for 35 years. I thought I would just share a little story from way back in the early days, which was probably one of the best cases to talk about, really. My kids were in an alternative school and practiced from home in those days, and one day a lady said she was coming home with her child, and I could hear them get out of the car down the street, and the child was screaming all the way up the street. Finally came into the clinic and sat in front of me with a red face and a big high fever and one red ear on the right hand side, and it was about 2:30 in the afternoon. They were on their way to pick up kids from school, and of course it was such a clear case of belladonna. So I gave 1 dose of 200C to the little kid, and it only took a couple of minutes and the whole thing just calmed down. The child went to sleep. So we put them to sleep on the couch Mum went off to go and pick up kids from school. When she came back again, the child had had a little nap for maybe 3/4 of an hour, when it was awake again, and the redness was gone, the earache was gone, the screaming was gone, and the child was back again to feeling happy and calm. Because it was early days of practice, I was so happy when that mum went off and told all the other people at the alternative school that she went to. So the clinic got quite busy because of that one lady telling everybody her story. And there's another story from around the same time. A similar mum from the alternative school came along with her little child who had retention of urine because she'd had a UTI, and it passing wee basically was so painful that she kept holding on until it got to the point where the doctor said, just take her straight down the hospital, we'll get a catheter in there to release the urine. So she came along, we gave the child a dose of APIS, and the same story. In a few minutes the child had done a wee all over the carpet in the clinic. And I think those two cases still are clear as a bell in my mind, because both those mums went off and advertised to everybody left, right and centre about how amazing the remedies were. So that was from my early days of practice.